Hi everybody, it's Emma here again at Emma's Antenatal. I'm reading another birth story today. This is Charlotte's positive second birth. And just at the beginning here, just mention that I have put a link on to join my group as well, where you can get more information. I'll be doing more videos about different birth topics. And putting relaxations on and exercises that you can do to stay feeling good throughout pregnancy and prepare for birth. So here we go. So Charlotte's positive second birth, and this is also from Tell Me a Good Birth Story. I should start by saying that I've read lots of positive birth stories, but it has to be said with a hefty dose of scepticism. I therefore wanted to share my experience of a positive second birth after what can only be described as a traumatic first birth with my daughter. Induced at 42 weeks, back-to-back 36-hour labour with epidural ending in ventouse delivery. I was anxious, or more like terrified, at the thought of having to give birth again. A few friends had positive second births, with doula support following bad first births. So I figured it was worth more exploring as an additional support option. Even after the first phone call with a doula, I felt much more educated about how the cascade of events had unfolded first time round, and what could have been done differently. She had already committed to attend another birth at a similar time, so she suggested we use a colleague who she is mentoring. The first time we met Jane, she seemed lovely, and subsequent conversations in the antenatal period confirmed this view. I went into labour spontaneously at 5 a.m, with contractions every 15 minutes for a few hours. We were in contact with Jane throughout this time. Tips such as heat patches, breathing, lavender oil were put into practice, and they certainly helped. By 9 a.m, contractions were every 5 minutes. We called the birth centre at 10 a.m. and met Jane there by 11 a.m. The next 4 hours are a bit of a blur, mostly spent in the pool with lots of reassurance from my husband and some wonderful back rubbing from Jane. The midwives were very unobtrusive, some wonderful intervening when needed. No measuring of cervix dilation this time, and feeling defeated when things weren't progressing. Example, getting me to change position, to bed, and eventually ending up on a birth stool. So, with just some gas and air and paracetamol and one of my favourite dance tracks on repeat, we welcomed our son into the world at 3:07 that afternoon. The combination of support and reassurance allowed me to work with my body, and at the points where I felt it was too much and I couldn't do it, to focus, breath and carry on. It's almost surreal to say, but I did it. Despite another set of bad second degree tears, more support from Jane while they spent an hour stitching me up, the nature of the birth this time around has really helped me, my physical recovery. It was much quicker, and therefore my emotional state. I got postnatal depression last time, in part as my mum died during my first pregnancy. So, despite the lack of sleep, we are all doing much better. In much better shape and enjoying adjusting to life as a family of 4. Using a doula definitely enhanced our overall experience. Jane has also been helpful with practical postnatal support too. Having been through such an intimate experience with us, there is an automatic trust that has allowed me to accept help where perhaps I wouldn't have before. I would therefore thoroughly recommend using a doula. So that's a lovely story. A hospital birth as well, which I promised to read out, birth centre. Anybody that's wondering what birth centres look like, the ones that are purpose built are very different to the standard hospital rooms. It's well worth going to have a look round and touring a couple of local units. In our area we have Oldham Hospital and North Manchester that have purpose built beautiful birth centres. Also over in Stockport I know they have some lovely rooms. So they don't have beds in them, they have birth pools built in, kind of low lighting. Some have kind of bubble lamps and stars on the ceiling. And it is proven that having a nice environment, it boosts your feelings of privacy, and it speeds up the labour, and actually feeling comfortable rather than feeling a bit tense in a labour ward room, which is more like what you would see. I'm not sure what the light looks like there. But yeah, a standard hospital room that you imagine, kind of with the white sheets and medical equipment. It's very, very different. So do go and have a look around. There are some online tours that you can do as well. So have a look at those, and definitely look up doulas. So I will put a link on, but the website to look up is Doula UK. So it's DOULA, Doula UK. And there is a map where you can look up your, who you've got in the area near you. That's all for today. Thanks for being here. And my website is emmasantenatal.com if you want to look up my pregnancy yoga classes and antenatal and hypno for birth classes. See you soon.